So, hey guys, Chauzu here. So in this video, we are going to go through all of the level 5 Grand Voyage missions in the game right now. And we're going to look at the possible teams that various people have been able to come up with. Just so you get an overview of how they look, so you know kind of what your options are. And then in the description below, I will have links to every single team I bring up. Sadly, I'm going to stick with max 8 teams per mission, so there will be more teams available for certain missions. But I might add some extras if people link me any good ones I missed or such. So yeah, if I'm missing anything important, let me know in the comments below, basically. Anyway, let's get started. So we're going to start with Fuchsia Village and local sea monster. As you can see, I've not been able to beat it yet. I can beat level 4 now. I don't really see the point personally in doing that right now. But yeah, this is by far the hardest mission, and right now it's the only real obvious one where you really need dupes. So if you don't have enough dupes for specific units, you have to wait until you get them, or until you get a better size Cerebral Captain. Anyway, we have 3 potential teams right now. It's actually really 2, but I split them up into 3 to talk about different supports and to give different content creators credit, basically. Anyway, for this first one, I'm going to credit Among Us for this. He's the treasure map god, finishes first basically all the time, does like 400 Navlos and stuff. Shoutouts to him. Anyway, basically, you have a choice between Shanks' crew as captain or V1 Shanks, and really they are interchangeable. So I put Shanks' crew here since mine is in a better spot, but really the normal Shanks also works. But yeah, as you can see for me, I don't really have either in a great spot. Anyway, the support on Shanks is not essential. Makino is a bonus. If you need more stats, you can run other support like maybe Bullet if you want more HP. Snake Man can be decent. Like Zoro, like if you have him lax level limit break, there's a lot of potential options. Bullet can be nice for survivability though. You can also put Roger on Ready Paradise and something else on Viola. But yeah, basically, this is like the OG team people came up with. Cat Dog does a lot of damage. You really want the Limit Break expanded. Hit last with them, so you can proc your Sailor ability to do more damage. So yeah, there's not a lot of variation to this, and my investments are not enough by far. Moving on, I'll credit Stump for this. Basically, it's the same as the last one, but you can use the Ashura support on Cat Dog, and this ends up doing significantly more damage than Odin support and the One Orb. So yeah, it's nice when people come up with small optimizations to make life a bit easier. And here I also put Makino support on Shanks, which is the default option to remove the blindness. But in the end, without it, you can still clear it. You even do more damage without her. It's just that you have to hit through blindness and hit all perfect, which is not easy with a non-easy perfect chip like Liberal Hint. Finally, I'll credit Subconsci with this variation. And basically, you don't replace by unit Cat and Dog. You can replace them with Nami and Usopp. And this might be good for some people since you might have Nami Usopp at higher merges, closer to level 5. And they are also a unit that is more valuable to Limit Break expand outside of Grand Voyage, probably. But they add less damage output since they don't have Cat and Dog's great Sailor ability. And yeah, basically, you also have a support that adds less damage. Like Luffy only adds 1.25 times more stats, while the Ashura support adds 1.3 times stats. So overall, you need more investments with this variation. Okay, before we move on, I just want to clarify that all the teams for local C Monster level 5 assumed We1 Shanks as friend captain, and the level 150 Limit Break expanded We1 Shanks. Just to get that clarified, let's move on to Alvida's hideout. And Alvida, initially this was by far the easiest, and probably still is, but I say that new legend releases have made so that Luffy and Buggy kind of have caught up with Alvida. Anyway, I got 8 teams for this one, and we're going to go through it a bit faster this time. I'll note any specific things I have in mind. This first one I credit to Subconsi. It's a double Luffy crew team. And yeah, we see the Crocodile support on Luffy crew, very strong support given chain boundary. We see the Blitz Scarp, who will be very common this time with the Kobe support to remove attack down. The radio support will also be common, gives ore boost since you're not allowed to do ore boost normally. And the Foxy and Portrait unit, very good due to removing bind and having Barry Pen and Bullet for the end of time damage to get through resilience. Moving on, Sabo will probably be the most common captain here. Luffy crew is friend captain. No Kid on this team. Kid is the popular unit to use to remove hunger, but Luffy crew, Luffy and Sanji can do that as well. Nami supporters set defense to 0 since enemies have increased defense on stage 4 and 5. Bullet has Aquino support here, very good for orb manip and a bit of an attack boost. Boy is kind of cool here. This team is credited to Trey Crew Game, by the way. Jinbei is a nice tech to remove the final turn of Decreased Chain. And again, Garp with the Kobe. Koala support helps remove Bind and the Spear on Sabo. Third team, this one is credited to Snowman. Luffy crew on the team with the Crocodile support again. Friend captain here is We1 Snake Man, so keep that in mind. He uses a guest Snake Man, so it's not that important. There's really nothing more notable here. Another team using Kobe on the Garp. Was it Kobe on the Garp on the last team too? Yeah, it was. And yeah, Foxy Portia for the Barry Pen, very nice. Radius shuffled to Bullet this time around. Might have some Orb RNG this team. Moving on. This is a team from B-Bro. And yeah, we have the Sabo Cap. That Koala support does nothing special, by the way. Is this the right one? Did I skip one? Yes, yeah, skip one. This is not the B-Bro one. This is from Abel Lee. Sorry about that. B-Bro is the next one. And yeah, the Koala does nothing here. Aquino support on Luffy. And yeah, we have a new Garp this time. This is the Neo Garp, whatever he's called. He's not available at least. With the Tsuro support. Tsuro support is going to be common too to get around resilience. This Jinbei is actually very nice. I used him on one of my teams too, that is not included in this video. With the color affinity and the support to remove decreased chain. So yeah, looks like a solid team, to be honest. Now we finally have the B-Bro team. And yeah, has some cool choices like Yak for the chain lock with Aquino support as well for Orb manip. We have the Blitz Scarp again, this time with Tsuro. Josie is a nice tech choice since he removes attack down and can also reduce special charge with his special. And one of the nice things with this Scarp, by the way, is that he removes barrier. It just makes life a lot easier. Moving on. We have a team from a guy named Ace of Knaves. Spells Knaves. I presume it's pronounced Knaves. But anyway, very cool team this. This is the only team I have here that doesn't include any of the limited Garp units. Still Tsuro support though. To be honest, after this video I'm going to go and check out if we can make a team that doesn't need any of these Garps or Tsurus. That will probably be my next project. Anyway, some cool supports though. We have the Trash Map Re-Recruit Onigumo on V3 Akainu. The Re-Recruit Bellobetti on Sabu to remove the decreased chain. And Marco Nace is also cool, get a big attack boost and also an ore boost with support. Moving on, this team is from some dude called Chauzu. And yeah, pretty cool team. Uses V3 Akainu, Luchi support to get some extra color affinity for him. Opera support is a cool tech choice on Kid to let you get around the spear, since Marco handles the attack down and bind. Marco has a support to reduce CDs, you can use his special final stage. We have the Garp and Zero combo again, and Luffy has a limited Tama support that gives you some matching orbs. And this team uses Luffy Crew support, Luffy Crew Friend Captain. Like, unless I say something, it's Luffy Crew Friend Captain. Final team uses V1 Snake Man Captain and some cool choices. We have the limited Sabo here with, again, the better support. Sabo has hunger, so we get around that. We have the new Rare Recruit Soba Mask. Very cool choice. I actually never considered him. I was a big fan of this team. It looks very good, to be honest. But again, we have the Garp and Zero combo, which can be pretty annoying. Before we move on, I just want to clarify that the 8th team versus Alvida was made by SCZ69. Shoutouts to you. Now let's move on to Shellstown and Morgan. And after Local Sea Monster, this is probably the most restrictive one right now. It's basically required that you need to own Carrot and Wanda. There's no way around that for now, and probably not for the foreseeable future. But other than that, there are at least a few options, way more than Local Sea Monster at least. So we actually got 4 teams to go through here. And yeah, first we have the OG team. I'll be crediting Stump for this one. Shout out for making the OG team here versus Morgan 5. And it's still really good. This is definitely the team Bandai had in mind when they made this content. Friend Captain is V3 Zoro. Get as good one as you can. You definitely want to level 150 Tashigi, and any future free-to-play unit we use for Morgan, you want to get them to level 150 for sure. Anyway, Law, very good, as a ton of damage final stage, good supporting Corazon. Luffy Zoro here for the Chain Lock, and Mr. 3 support to survive the death hit. Pedro, Death Time conditional, Cat and Dog helps remove the bind and attack down. And Carrot and Wanda just does everything final stage, removes hunger, reduces CD, gives an ore boost, sets defense to 0 so we can use Pedro later. Yeah, Carrot and Wanda is just essential. Moving on. And this is basically the same team. I'll be crediting that Chauzu guy for this one. And yeah, basically there's only 2 differences with this team. The first difference is that the Friend Captain is a V1 Zoro. And he needs to be level 150, like fully level Limit Broken. Limit Break expansion is not required, but recommended for extra damage. And Luffy Zoro has a new support in the support Sabo to remove Special Bind final stage. This means that this team can't fit Mr. 3, which means you have to rely on Resilience Socket. Let's see if I still have them up. I do. Resilience Socket, so you can survive the death hit, and if you don't survive, you need to redo the run from the beginning until you get the survival. I will say that this team is probably, I'm pretty sure this is the team that does the most damage thanks to V1 Zoro's higher captain ability, so good consideration just for that. Moving on, new teams were possible thanks to the release of Roger. He does a lot. This team was made by my fellow Swede 6+, shoutouts to him, and it uses General Frankie as Friend Captain. This is, I have to be honest, this is the coolest team made so far against Morgan 5, super cool. Roger is very nice since you always have a unit you can put Mr. 3 on. Roger helps remove bind and death up on stage 4, and it also gives a pretty high base attack boost plus 800 base stats that you can carry to the final stage. We have the rare recruit Yukimaru, who synergizes perfectly for this stage, so you can actually skip Tashigi. He removes the damage reduction, or it's damage threshold. He removes the damage threshold, and he removes the attack down, and the paralysis, and then swapping General Frankie removes the despair, so you handle everything. Use General Frankie's special, get tons of stats, and then I noticed a mistake. Thank God I noticed. This is this bonus support. Okay, and then final stage, you get special binded, but middle row doesn't get special binded, and Law doesn't get special binded thanks to bonus support. You can use We Want Sorrow, Karok Wanda, Law. Sora has the Perona support to give the death down conditional. It's just 1.5 times, but thanks to Roger also giving base stat boost, you get a bit close to compensating for the lack of Pedro's 2 times death down conditional. So yeah, super cool team. Shout outs to 6+ for making this like after a few hours of trying. Finally, we have another team from the Chauzu guy. Yeah, we have We Want Sora as captain now. Both this team and 6+ team needs a level 150 Zoro. I wouldn't say Limit Break expansion is required, but extra stats are always nice. This team actually has a very high damage output, which is usually the case when you can fit We Want Sora as captain, since he's a 5.25 times captain. And yeah, the cool thing with this team is that we do fit the Luffy Law, which is hard since Luffy Law is only a slasher in duo form and Law form, and Quick isn't very good here, but I managed to find some good ways to bypass the need for stalling too much. And this means that we were able to fit the Sabo support to use Special's final stage. And Luffy Law also has a lot of damage stage 4 with their special. And Zoro still needs the Perona support. This is a summer treasure map rare recruit, so hopefully it will rerun next month. Oh, I noticed a mistake here. The ship is wrong. There. Now it should be good. Yeah, silly mistakes, but that's what happens when you make these kind of things. Okay, moving on. We're going into Orange Town. And the first mission there against Buggy. And I got 8 teams here, and this is honestly all 8 teams I've been able to find this time. And we're going a bit chronologically here, not exactly, but we'll start with the time skip Luffy focus and move over to the V6 Law, the new Quick Law, which will be the main focus by the end. And a lot of teams are absolutely better. That's just how it is. Also, all teams right now do require Sabo Ace. And I say right now, Sabo Ace is required unless you have a level 150 Luffy, and even then, we've not seen any team made yet without owning Sabo and Ace, but might be possible in the future. Anyway, this first team is brought to you by Subconsci, and it uses Sabo and Ace both as friend captain and as sub, and it requires a level 150 time skip Luffy. Initially, you won't see a lot of variation with units, and each team does have Sabo and Ace and Robin. They are the only 100% required units. A lot of teams use Brook as captain, and Brook usually has the Nami support to help remove Bind the Spear. And Sabo and Ace also have some support to remove the spear, either the Legend Whitebeard or the rare recruit Koala. Both work equally fine. And on this team, Subconsci also opted for the Legend Bonnet to help remove some special bind. Not sure if required, but moving on. It probably is required, never mind. Anyway, moving on to the second team. And yeah, like half of these teams are going to be made by Mr. Chauzu. So this is the first one here. And this one is honestly pretty good. I made some changes to the video, but Robin support is whatever you want. Usually a stat boost, but if you do have the Luffy, then he adds a ton of damage and you should put him on Robin. Anyway, Friend captain here is time skip Luffy. Komurasaki is really good Kisnare recruit since Oda support adds a lot of damage with the 1 orbs, and she has a very high color affinity special. But other than that, it's the team we know and love. Moving on to the third team. This is from Stomp. It's a recent video, but I featured it with the Time Skip Luffy gang, since Time Skip Luffy is the friend captain. And this is a very similar team, except that it uses the free-to-play Helmet Bow instead of the Komurasaki, which is fine. You might need a bit higher stats, but at the same time, Helmet was free-to-play. Pretty easy to level 150, so you get a bit of extra stats that way as well, potentially. Moving on. Yet another time skip Luffy team. This is also by Chauzu. And yeah, basically the idea here is that you get the double special with Kiku, which is pretty nice. You can use Kiku on like stage 3 to make it more consistent. And then you have the counter support, which lets you use, say, the Luffy support on Brook if you have a highly merged Brook. Obviously, you could put the Luffy on Robin as well. But like, it depends on who has the highest attack and most potential damage, but it's a pretty nice option. Otherwise, same team again. But now we're finally moving into the Law era. And yeah, this was the first Law team. Like, I uploaded it first, but Subconsci and Stump uploaded it not much later, and they also made it by themselves, because honestly this team is pretty obvious if you know your Buggy 5 and you realize how Law works. Anyway, we still need a Luffy to beat Buggy 5, and we also need a Luffy for Sub and Aces special. So we settled for the only one that could really contribute in terms of damage final stage, which is the Trash Map Luffy. However, Trash Map Luffy does change orbs, which Buggy doesn't allow, so it becomes this, you have to reset a bit for orbs. Like, I could talk about that all day, but it's better that you watch my old Buggy 5 videos if you're interested about that mechanic. Summon support on Robin is nice, since you get an attack boost first turn final stage and can save the Law special for turn 2 instead. And Luffy also has a smoke support, so Luffy can do both attack boost and color affinity boost on turn 3. I've not talked a lot about Brook, like when you use his super class. Sometimes you want to use it turn 1, and then you don't, and then you need Resilience Socket. Sometimes you need to use it, you can use it turn 2, and then you don't need Resilience Socket. But for this team, it should be, like, if you have a level 4 or above Super Tandem Law, you can use Brook's superclass second turn. Moving on, this is also by this Chauzu guy, and it's a pretty unique team. It's the only team without both Brook and Boa. The only team without Boa, I think, but I feel like she's pretty replaceable, but mainly by the Trash Map Recruit dog that I use here. But yeah, basically this uses a level 5 Buggy. Level 5 Law, I mean, friend captain, and that adds a lot of damage. Sadly, this team is still not the most accessible, since like Luffy is super Sugu exclusive, Law is very new, Treasure Map Rare Recruit Dog is a Treasure Map Rare Recruit, even if he's a permanent one, so you can always pull him every Treasure Map Sugo. But yeah, as for the support, you'll see Peccoms a lot, gives you damage reduction, first turn, final stage. We have the Rare Recruit Croc on Robin to help remove special binds if you don't have Boa on this team. And we have Croc is mainly the special reverse, I guess. And finally, we have the Law, who helps remove the Bind and Despair with Corazon. And yeah, basically you can't use the Luffy final stage, you use him a bit earlier. Sadly, we can't use our own Law as captain. I guess we can, but there's no reason to. Better to use the super type from Luffy, and Luffy also resists slot bind, so you don't get slot binded. And yeah, this team wants you to abuse the super tandem mechanic, so for more info on that, just check the video in the description. The dog support is the rare recruit Ashura. Lets you also get a bit of an attack boost when you use the special. Moving on. I really love this team. It was made by Nitro Sage. It might be one of the more accessible teams, at least if you got this very old free-to-play unit, Showbro and Carrot, that you can't get anymore. And yeah, just a very cool team in general. I was very impressed by it. Law as friend captain, you need level 4 or above. Peckham support again. Pedro support, remove the spear and attack down. And Boa to give some extra attack. Turn 2 when you use her special. Super cool team. I urge you to check it out. Final team by Able Lee. Just another cool little take using Soba. I'm not sure like how much you need Soba in particular, but it lets you spread out the support a bit. Like Luffy can have Barto for damage reduction and Soba handles damage reduction turn 1 with the Peckhams, and obviously Robin does it turn 2. And both this and the Nitro Sage team are resilient socket teams. So finally, we're moving on. We're still at Orange Town and we're going to Luffy 5. And there's a ton of Luffy 5 teams, especially now when we got the new Kid Legend. So I picked 8 of those. I've tried to be a bit diverse, both in terms of the actual teams and who made the teams, to showcase as many people as possible. I've linked 2 extra teams as well in the description, and I might add more in the future. Anyway, first team, credit goes to Toadski for the upload and Akainu for actually making this team. And it's pretty cool. It's the only team using Moria, as far as I know, as captain. Friend captain is Buggy, and we have the Blitz Akainu as sub, not available anymore sadly. Perona is a rare recruit. She will be on almost every team with that Zoro support for the chain lock. Buggy as a sub, Legend Buggy, only team with him as a sub, and Color Page 1 for that final stage is very useful for it. Moving on with the second team, and this is credited to Secretive, one of the best team builders on the JP version. I enjoy his teams a lot. He doesn't make as many anymore, but those he makes are gold. This is also Buggy friend captain, and when I say Buggy, I mean level 150 Buggy. Needs to be fully level limit broken. This team is pretty dope. Uses Katakuri, which most teams will use from now on, with that Cracker support, which is great for final stage to remove the decreased chain. Stuff is cool for the double special, and all helps put Katakuri in low HP and also handles matching orbs. Moria support of page 1, like Moria is extra damage basically, so not required, but a nice option to have. Moving on, next one is from B-Bro. And yeah, use Katakuri captain. This Kisuna rare recruit book is really good. One thing I should say with this team is that the friend captain is V3 Blackbeard, and this team is incredibly cool because, like, Perona, for example, gives damage reduction, but V3 Blackbeard turns it into attack boost, and it also gives orb boost with its support, and then you use V3 Blackbeard and he extends them. Incredibly cool team. Might be a bit tight damage, but yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. Moving on, we have another Able Lee team, and this is the Yamato team. Very popular team to use. So Yamato is friend captain, Yamato is sub as well. It also uses this Charlotte family member. I actually forget the name. Let's take a look. Galette, that's right. An old Fortnite unit. You might be able to get her from friend point pools. And yeah, the reason you use a unit like Galette is because she's one cost. This gives you more room to use more legends, basically. Buggy has the Alvida support, which helps remove death up final stage, and Katakuri with the law support to give an ore boost. The Kustar support is an old free-to-play unit that is unavailable that locks the orbs of int units. Moving on, we've entered the V3 Kid era, where every team will have V3 Kid as friend captain, and yeah, he's insanely good for this, makes a lot of more team building possible. This particular team was made by Natsu4495. Pretty cool team, uses the new free-to-play killer, Who's Who, not that many supports. And I said that Brook is very good final stage. And yeah, looked like a very easy team to use. Moving on, we have a team from Cuckoo Boy. It's pretty dope. I like the Kobe a lot. It also doesn't use that many supports. It also uses that different buggy. This is the rare recruit one. This duo buggy here that is used on a few teams is actually not available right now, which sucks. But there's some good teams with this rare recruit buggy as well. And yeah, like the Kobe, like the Duffy here as well. Team has pretty good synergy and it was a clean run. Like all teams shown here are pretty good, especially those with Kid. All of those can definitely be used. Moving on, we have a team from Shiren. And it's the first no Perona team I link here. It's very cool, uses the new rare recruit Perospero as well. Killer's here again, I'm not sure if bonus support is needed. The Blackbeard is an old point-to-went Blackbeard, pretty good unit. He's the one that mainly replaces Perona. And we have Cracker support again on Katakuri, very useful. Finally, we have a team from me. It's the only V2 Blackbeard team in this video. I want to note two things first though. First, there's another V2 Blackbeard team in the description made by B-Bro. That team is also really good. Check it out. I had to pick 8 teams, and I already picked up B-Bro teams I wanted to mix it up a bit. Secondly, the video with this V2 Blackbeard team in the description also has another team without Perona, if you want more teams without Perona. Anyway, this team, V2 Blackbeard, very cool. Basically, Kid lets you take self-damage. Kid is friend captain, of course. So that helps get Blackbeard his special back. So basically, you'll use his special 3 times before final stage. Then on final stage, you can use Blackbeard's super type special to remove the damage limiter. And this lets you use completely different supports. Like we can use final stage supports like the Duffy support, the Moria support to add a lot of free extra damage. The Hero Look is a free-to-play unit. It's available in character recruitment. Akino and Fuji is a treasure map free-to-play unit. And yeah, that's the notable things, I guess. So yeah, this has been a long journey, but it's over now. Let me know in the comments what you thought about these videos. I might make another one in 2 months for our new Grand Voyage missions. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.